Now, best is if you can answer this for yourself, because within this realm of duality that we're playing in, there's a sense of, you can say, your lower self or higher self. Or you got the devil and then you got the angel, right? That's a good that's a good analogy there. Where, like, the angel's here and the devil's here. Like, everybody can relate to that. Why? Because this is the game. This is the game of life. Everybody has that play. Masters and the gurus and the unconscious people. That's all playing out all the time. It's just as we evolve more, we're more seasoned to listen to, you can say, your higher self. Why? Because like you want to do good and the Bible tells you so? No, because you've learned, like, my experience in this body, in this life, goes better when there's some inner alignment with my higher self. That means some cooperation with it. That means flowing with it. That means more fusion with it. The lower self gets fused with the higher self, and then there's just the higher self left. But there's still gonna always be some provisional lower self, right? So don't let the mind, keep looking for this flagpost awakening. It doesn't exist. That's another trap. But you get to where you're good. Your higher self is always telling you, maybe not in words, but as some kind of subtle sense or tendency or feeling. It's because the higher self is quiet, it's subtle. It doesn't like shout. The mind shouts, this sucks, I can't believe this is hell. Higher self is like, this'll pass, it's all good, it's okay. This is training, this is purification. There's some lesson here, some karma being burnt up. And again, it may not say that in the same way when you get the message from your lower self. It's the lower self has more pictures and it's more concrete. It's words and stuff. Higher self, it's more like a nudge. It's more like an intuitive sense, you see? So that's always there. The question is, do you listen to it? This is the whole purpose of a spiritual practice or sadhana. That right there. That's why I don't have, because I contemplated this a couple years ago. I'm like, do I need to find like a technique, some kind of spiritual something that I can focus on, like, self-inquiry or non-duality, God no, or meditation, or bhakti, or practicing presence. I'm like, all those things are good. They're just all good. How can I single out any one thing and then be a proponent of that only? I couldn't authentically do that. So I'm like, okay, let's just see just make videos, see what happens. Because it's a very individual journey. God has created all these different forms and different temperaments and characters, and there's all these different levels of consciousness and evolution that's happening right now. It's different. You got to find your own way. But there's some things, some phrases that kind of encapsulate the whole pointing here. And so I felt like that's one of them. It's part of the evolutionary journey. There's no, again, you don't graduate, but the so-called practice is you get to where you can discern the difference between your lower self and your higher self. If you don't like those words, it doesn't matter. They're just words. You call it whatever you want. For the hardcore Christians that keep watching me, which I'm not sure why. Well, I know why. But anyway, you can call it devil and Jesus. Like, it doesn't matter. You don't have to call it anything. You be aware that these two forces are playing. And don't non-dual it away and say, but there's actually no force. There's no good force, there's no bad force. I mean, if you got to do that, if you got to go through that stage, okay. But life's going to show you otherwise at some point. That we have to play this game. This is the game we signed up for. There's no way to escape it. Sure, on a deeper level, you can say like, because it's true. There's only the infinite. There's only the supreme. And these are all just, it's like a movie of like shadows and light being played out in human forms and emotions, and you have the ego, and then you have the intuition, and all these polar opposites. But that's all being housed in the infinite, which isn't doing anything. We get a taste of that in deep sleep. In deep sleep, it's all done. It's like the movie got turned off. We hit pause or something. So that's true. That's true. On the deepest core level, there's like nothing. Nothing exists. Okay, there you go. But the consciousness, when it's playing as a person or as any form, the game is on. So therefore, balance. You be aware as much as you want that nothing actually exists, but on a human level, there's a damn strong appearance that something exists. And within that appearance, there's this play of higher self and lower self. We have to exercise our discipline. We have to be willing first. Even that we can't help for a while. Let me finish that thought though before I talk about that. We have to be willing to want to listen to the higher self, and then you exercise that. That gives you something to do every day. You can apply that in actions, in your thinking, everything, as best as you can. That will help you start to get aware of your shadow side on a level that maybe before you just wanted to keep under the carpet, because you can realize like, damn, this shadow side, man, it's pretty strong, because now you're becoming conscious of it. You're not just becoming some, spiritual robot that just says, okay, I'm done, everything's spiritual. You're actually like, you're in it now, in it in a conscious way. I wanted to talk too about this willingness though. First, we have to be willing to do that. That's an evolutionary journey, being willing to do that. Because if you were to talk to me when I was a teen or 20s, or even, man, it dies slow. Even it kept going. There's always going to be some residual effect. But even in my 30s, like there were still these, you can say, shadow tendencies. We have them in different departments. Some have it with, sex, or being obsessed with the opposite sex, trying to play and get them to look and flirting and all that stuff that just causes you to be restless if you do it too much. You have that, food, alcohol, smoking weed, drinking too much coffee. We all got something. We got something, usually more than one thing, that we know is kind of keeping us small, okay? Because the higher self is telling you. I think if you let go of that, you're going to enjoy a greater sense of purity and freedom. See, it's there saying that. The lower self, man, this is too hard. Like, I got to do something in life. I don't want to be all squeaky clean. See, it exaggerates things. Catch that out. I had a girlfriend when I wanted to talk. She said I wanted to talk about spiritual subjects too much. And she said, I said, like, but what are we going to talk about? Like, what else? I said, I'm not talking about it in some fluffy way. I don't even consider it spiritual. Like, I like looking at stuff. Like, let's break stuff down. It's fun. She says, I don't want to just end up like some Buddha sitting on a rock or something. See, the mind exaggerated, told a lie, and posed it as truth. Catch yourself out how many times your mind's doing that. And how many times are you believing it? That's more important. Are you believing it? Because that's why those thoughts come. The shadow side knows what thoughts to send that you're going to believe in. Once you don't believe in them anymore, they're not going to come. They're going to find another way. Remember the monk story? Nothing got to him. He appeared to be awake. And then his wife and kid was mad at him because he wouldn't give them any kind of personal attention. I mean, he talked to them, but he seemed very detached. So his wife orchestrated a situation. And she made it to where when he came home, he found her in bed with another man. And so then he walked in and he opened the door. He said, "Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, man. Can I get you some coffee? Because, you know, I want you to enjoy yourself." And then messed her up more. She got more mad. And then the kid also, he wanted some kind of attention that he wasn't giving him. So the kid started going to the neighbor's house every day, spending time with the father over there. And then, but the monk never got mad. Finally, the kid confronted him. He says, "Man, don't you you notice I'm always with this other guy because he's feels more like a father figure than you. Like we talk about, you know, worldly things and talk about girls and all that." He says, "Man, that's a great man," the monk said. He says, "Yeah, if he's helping you, you should keep going." See, nothing could get to him. Finally, the wife took the kid and they went away, left him. So then he ended up in some ashram. And word got out to the devil. He's like, "Man, this guy we can't get. We tried the most extreme things. We can't get him. What are we gonna do?" So the devil calls the two highest demons. He says, "Go take care of this, man. There's a way. If he's in a human form, there is a way to get him. You guys need to figure that out. Don't get weak on me. So, oh, he's so holy. No, there's a way. Go." So they go. And then they're on the tree. It's autumn. There's a bunch of leaves. And the monk's chilling at the garden. He likes gardens, and he made the garden. It's all nice. And then the wind blew, and a leaf fell on the garden. And the monk came out of his meditation, and he quickly removed the leaf, right? Because it was he didn't want that there. I do that to my channel. Well, my moderator does that. Sometimes we get weeds, you know, and you get the people that are just kind of hateful, and they're just looking for attention, but they want to get it in a negative way. They're like weeds. So she just pulls them out. It's cool. So the demons saw that the monk got irritated because of the leaf. Then they got happy, right? And they started shaking the tree, and all the leaves were coming, and the monk just lost it. Had a mini psychosis. See, so there's always a way to get you as long as you're in this human form. I don't know how that story, if I deviated or if that ties in, because I don't remember what I said before I started telling the story, but I trust it's all good. All right, I'll see you.